Oh, good Lord. Wow. I'm learning how to use it, okay? I'm learning how to use it. It's not a huge deal. But anyhow, this is only my second time using StreamYard as it is, and it turns out I actually don't think I should use this right now. It's all right so far, but it's pretty clear that I'm not allowed to do anything else with it. And I do like StreamYard as it is for what it is. But it does seem to be not as easy if you don't have, or if you only have the one. But I'm not going for. Oh, okay, yeah. So I still have to worry about purchasing or upgrading to do multi-streaming, which is that makes it obvious. Streaming limits, no yard bounding, pre-record multi-stream, 3 destinations. But that's okay. Okay, I see it now. And I'm only looking for two. Realistically, I'm only looking for two individual uh, places to stream. I'm still thinking about doing float and Uh, I don't think I actually have float just yet. Well, anyhow, since I'm still figuring this thing out, I'm still figuring out how StreamYard works, different streaming services, platforms, the different tools that are I can work with. I'm learning as much as I can about it, so that way I can actually provide you guys with some valuable info in case any of you actually want to start doing this, because that's the whole point of these streams right now. The Dawn has spoken. It's basically just a so basically, I've got 3 YouTube channels right now, and out of the three, the Dawn has spoken is the simplicity is literally it just hap- going into business, doing something with your life, pushing yourself forward. It's more like mental tenacity, but it's a variation of things that what makes you survive, and that's more or less how to survive and the mentality to have with it, and that's more or less working through basically anything and everything. How to push yourself through anything and everything. Having a strong mindset. That's what I'm trying to start with at least. It's just more or less the ability to see from my perspective and go at it to explain what I can to people. Otherwise, and especially to have some sort of established connection to my daughter as she grows older. As it is, she's only 8 months old right now, and I want to leave behind something more than what I currently have. And this is more or less where it starts. Otherwise, I do have the Lion's Den, which is basically sustainable living. I get to farm and have fun with my family, creating sustainable lifestyle as much as possible. And then finally, Jack Slate 909 over on Twitch even now, and over on YouTube as well. Basically, just that one honestly is just me. I'm having fun, but right now I'm leaning more towards the direction of how to make money online. So I'm kind of doing what Roberto Blake does, but he's on YouTube and I'm primarily started out on Twitch. But I'm testing out these things so that way I have the ability to give my perspective on it, because I've seen plenty of other creators go between the two channels. I just never did myself, and now that I'm starting to, I see different, maybe from a different perspective, and that's what I'm trying to give. And that's all. That's really all it is. It's just a new age of what it is to be a content creator, and it's more or less what today is kind of what it's supposed to be about. Sorry for getting off all track. That was a really weird introduction, but basically the sum up of today is when we're going about doing any of these actions, when we're committing to a job, we're committing to a lifestyle, we're committing to new habits, basically whatever you're trying to go for in life, you should be playing by the rules. Uh, that may sound simple, that may sound almost, I don't know, oddball. I'm still trying to get through how to be able to speak to people when there's no one there, because it is just me. Yeah, it's and trying to be able to get this out there. I'm still getting through that nervous stage, but that's actually kind of the concept of what rules are there to be played with right now, and I haven't established that. I haven't put that forward. I haven't set that boundary. But in matter of speaking, if you're going to go about anything, it's a plain and simple thought process to follow by. is to play by the rules of the game that you're playing. So if you're trying to get a job, you got to stay with the activities of the job. If you're trying to be an entrepreneur, you got to stick with whatever hustle it is that you are trying to pursue. But you have to go by the, if you're trying to do something new, there are still some established guidelines to start off with. If you're going to become a blacksmith, you don't just go ahead and buy a propane lighter or a little Bic lighter that you get from the store and start trying to light something. You just literally hold it in your hand, just light it. No, there's some sort of scale that you have to work with for it to work. If you want to start with small stuff, yes, you can start out that way, but it's being able to understand what rules you're currently working with. This way, you're not in total disarray. You're not going at it from basically nothing. Like if you're gonna plant, if you're gonna plant anything, if you're gonna go into gardening, are you going to where are you going to start? Where's rule number one? Where's rule number two? Well, if there's no specific order to it, but it is a matter of what is the path to follow. Uh, what are the set standards of the game? What are the boundaries of the game? What it is that you're trying to dig into and work with. I really wish one were a lot easier. I do have notes in front of me, but I have to admit I was really tired when I wrote them out, and I am working with an infant, so being a parent, being an entrepreneur, it's all adding up. But that's actually the whole kind of idea behind playing by the rules that I had for today, was realizing that you can learn to grow through game. It doesn't have to be all demanding and like we're in many people have been in a classroom, raising your hand, being called upon, and trying to basically uh, be in a cubicle thought process, but letting your mind explore and try new things, working things out. It's there's a bunch of things you can do to learn, and one of the ways that I've come to learn best is through gaming. And whenever you're playing games, it doesn't matter if it's a board game. It doesn't matter if it's a electronic game. It doesn't matter if you're playing the game of life, literally. I mean, I'm talking about the board where the little spindle that you're landing on 1 to 10 and trying to go get a job because that makes sense. Um, no, I'm talking about like life out there, back behind the windows behind me, and in this world. What are the rules that you're trying to play by out there? And so far, I have come to understand the basics, and be able to educate others on that, including my child. A great way to be able to learn how to start walking is by figuring out how to go backwards from standing. Because I don't know how to raise my daughter up. I want her to raise herself up. I want her to be able to walk on her own. I can always help guide her, but she has to figure out how to play the game with me, so that way she can walk with me. She has to grow to that point. So it's figuring out what levels and what steps you can work with, and it would be so much easier to say this if I were actually talking to my daughter when I explaining that portion, but it is acknowledging very simply that you can in fact play a game to basically be able to get most things done, and you have to be able to understand, be comfortable with, and acknowledge the set standards before you if you're going to be able to grow. Otherwise, you'll stay right where you are. And that's more or less exactly what this talk show podcast was supposed to be about, was letting everyone know that if you aren't playing by the rules, everything else can become discombobulated very quickly, and it'll only get worse. Things can go spiral out of control very quickly. But to be able to utilize that and understand that you have to play by the set bounds. It's not for everyone, but it's definitely easier to work with. And I'm not trying to make it seem like we should go around and be uh, basically just going into chaos. It's nothing like that. I voluntarism and anarchy can go hand in hand. Because with anarchism, you still have rules. You just don't have rulers. And in voluntarism, nobody dictates what anybody does. You still do as you do, and others do as they do. And as long as we don't disagree, and I'm willing to help out, or you're willing to help out me, then we have a voluntary action occurring. But those are a set rule standard in society. It's basically socioeconomics. It playing by the rules ties into basically everything. It's too broad, and that was the difficulty with putting this together. But this is just a simple idea. It's just a simple idea. You have to play by the rules, and it wasn't meant to drone on. It was more or less trying to be able to give myself some sort. Sorry, I just saw my wife and child come up on the other side of the window. It's accepting that there are bounds, and to find out where those bounds are, and to work with them. That's actually part to go into next week, which I should probably get written down. But otherwise, this wasn't going to be a long one today. I just wanted to be able to talk about the concept of life as a game, play by the rules. Well, otherwise, I do really appreciate basically giving this another shot again and trying to be able to learn what I can about streaming to become better at streaming and better at being a content creator. So if you guys would like to support the channel, please consider hitting that follow button over on Twitch, or if you'd like to be able to support this after this stream, please head on over to the Don Has Spoken on YouTube, and I will see you guys next week. I have nothing else I'm not trying to sell anything today, so I think that's where we can start. Oh, that was a weird one, but fine by me. I'll catch you guys next Saturday.